So every day when we get ready to go and ride our bikes to work, or we go shopping, or we just go to have some fun somewhere, here are 7 things that we consider so essential that we'll never leave the house without them. In fact, if we forget one of those things, we will turn around right away and go get them. And we break those things into 3 categories. We break them into safety, commuting, maintenance, and then just, for fun, we've got a little bonus category at the end that are things that aren't completely essential, but we really like to have them with us.
So the first item that we don't leave the house without when we ride our e-bikes is a helmet. And the reason why we don't leave the house without our helmet is for personal experience. When we first got our e-bikes, I decided, well, I didn't necessarily need to have a helmet because our previous riding was always on the Katy Trail, and we don't always wear our helmets when we ride on the Katy Trail because we don't feel like we have that high a risk of falling. Now, when we're in the city, that's a whole different situation. When we commute, it's dangerous. We have to make sure that we're looking in all directions, and a helmet is one of those kind of things that's just an insurance policy in those situations. And what happened to me was a couple years ago, I didn't wear my helmet. I was going down High Street here in my city, and I was doing everything that I was supposed to, and a gentleman opened his car door, a parked car door, and I didn't see him. I didn't see him sitting in the car, and I smashed into the door, and I'm probably going about maybe 10 to 12 miles an hour, and that sudden stop threw me out into the street, smashed my head onto the pavement, and I got a little concussion. So from then on, this is where I've been. So make sure that when you leave your house with your e-bike, make sure number 1 is a helmet. So the second item that we will not leave the house without having on our person is our rearview mirrors. And our mirrors are extremely important because we commute in traffic all the time. And we need to be able to look all around us, and we need to make sure that we are clear. We have 2 riders, my wife and myself, and we work back and forth to keep an eye on things so that we don't get hit in traffic. And our mirrors are extremely important to help us do that. We can look around and make sure that nobody's coming up, and make sure that everything is clear without having to turn our heads all the way around. With our mirror, that is something that we can do extremely easy.
So the third thing on our list is our rear lights. And we've talked about them in another video, and they are so essential. They are just essential. It is so hard when you're out on the road for a car to see you, even when you have visible clothing on. So a white, bright, flashing rear light is always the best way to go. And like I said, we always have them on our bikes, and we never leave without them. Fourth item on the list is our communicators, and we've talked about our communicators before. They are just little devices that fit onto our helmets and allow us to talk back and forth when we're riding our bikes. And it is a gold mine. You have to keep your eyes on the back of your head anyway when you're riding your bike. So when you have a second person that can be a second set of eyes, that's worth everything. And so the communicators might even be more important than anything else, except for maybe our helmets that we talked about at the beginning. And just recently, we bought a helmet that combines both the helmet and the communicator. And sneak peek, that's going to be our next video. And so you guys need to just be on the lookout for that.
So the 5th thing on our list that we will not leave the house without having on our bike is panniers. And the reason why it is essential for us to have panniers is because we use our bikes as a car replacement. So when we go to work, we commute to work, or if we're going to go somewhere to meet friends or whatever, we're probably going to have to carry something. For instance, when I go to work, I may have to carry my laptop. So I have to have a place to put my laptop. We also when we commute to work, we have to take food for lunch. So we have to have a place to carry that. Another example of where we would use our panniers is that we use it for grocery shopping. So once we get out of the grocery store, we have to have some way of getting that our groceries home, and Panniers is the way that we do that. And speaking of grocery shopping, when we go grocery shopping, we park our bikes and then we hope and pray that when we get back, our bike is still there. And one of the things that we use to make sure that that happens is a lock. Now, let's just go ahead and get the 800-pound gorilla out of the room. No lock is going to guarantee that you're going to not get your bike stolen. But what you want to think about is to deter a thief from stealing your bike. So make sure that the lock you have is strong enough that it's going to take time to get through it. It's going to take time even with a grinder to get through something like a chain lock that has a Kevlar coating around it, or if you're going to be for an extended time in somewhere, you want to have something like a U-lock. We use a U-lock if we're going to have extended periods. But more importantly than having a lock is to make sure that when you lock your bike, you lock it in a visible place. So in other words, if you're at Walmart and you're trying to get groceries, do not park your bike in the back where maybe they have a bike rack. Make sure that whenever you park your bike, you park it up front. Lisa and I, we will park our bikes wrapped around a bench that's close to the front door because they don't have bike racks there. So that's one thing that we make sure that we do. We have to secure our bikes. So the last item on our list that we will not leave our house without having on our e-bike is a maintenance kit. Now, a maintenance kit for us is the tools that we need to fix anything that happens on the road with our bike. Now, we really kind of narrow that down to being able to fix a flat tire if we're on the road. And the reason why we kind of fixate on that is because if you have the tools to fix a tire, you probably have enough tools to fix anything that goes on with your bike. And ironically, we did a video just a few weeks ago about flat out tire sealant. And we bragged about how we didn't get any flats or anything because we used that product. And that is actually the truth. But since that video, I've had a problem with flats on my bike, but not on the tread side of the tire, but on the wheel side. So in this case, flat out wasn't going to help me. Well, long story short, what was going on is that I had a spoke that was loose and that it was poking on the inside of my rim and poking into my inner tube that way. So I was getting flat. So flat out wasn't going to help me there. So make sure that when you are out on your bike that you have a kit that is robust enough, I guess that's the best way to say it, to fix whatever you have on your bike that may go wrong.
So those were the 7 things that we consider so essential that we will never leave the house without them because they're essential to our safety and our comfort.
Right.
But like I said in the beginning, we do have a bonus category for you. These are things that aren't necessary, but boy, do they make things a lot easier.
It's kind of like this with these items. If we leave the house and we're 3 or 4 blocks away and we go, oh my God, we forgot one of these things, we may or may not come back.
Right.
As opposed to the other 7 things where we will definitely turn around and come back home and get those taken care of.
Exactly. And the first thing that I wanted to bring up on that list was a phone holder. Now, a phone holder, most people go, but wouldn't you need a folder? Not necessarily. You could stick it in your pocket. You could stick it in your panniers, like we talked about.
Right.
You don't actually have to have a phone holder, but it does make things a lot easier, especially if you're going someplace you've never been before. You can look at your Google Maps or whatever you use. You can take phone calls. You can just actually see what time it is.
You can just listen to music.
Yeah, a lot of times we get on the trail too and we lose track of time, so it's a lot better to know what time it is. And we also, like JJ said, we listen to music all the time.
Right.
So, you know, that is the first thing that we think of as a bonus item.
So the second thing that we see that is not necessarily essential, but really helpful, to take on your bike is Velcro and zip ties. Now, Velcro straps are one of those kind of things where it will save your butt. Also the zip ties. But to have the Velcro straps around, you can put things on your bike. You can help secure things like groceries. If you got something rattling, you can tie that down with it. There's just all kinds of untold reasons to have a Velcro strap on your bike. Yeah, so we use it all the time. And we are about to have an airplane go overhead. I see a giant airplane, so just give me a second. Wonderful. Something.
I think they're having an air show at our local airport today.
I think that's what's going on. But anyway, the next thing is the actual zip ties. Zip ties are great because first of all, they're small, they're easy to store on your bike, to keep on your bike.
You can have several different lengths if you want to.
Yeah, and they're perfect for just little repairs that will just get you home. For instance, I have a problem with a stripped screw on the fender on the rear of my bike. Now, I had to do a repair, like I said earlier, with my tire, and I stripped out that dang fender screw, screw. So I didn't have anything in the field, obviously, to repair that, but I did have a zip tie. So I was able to use that zip tie to tie up the
loose fender.
The loose fender. It doesn't have any weight on that fender, so it wasn't like it was, you know.
It wasn't structural or anything. But boy, it was noisy as it was clanging around. So by using the zip tie, he was able to stop that.
Yeah, anything that you're going to have that's going to be flopping on your bike, a Velcro strap or zip tie is going to be the ticket.
It will take care of it.
Yeah.
The very last bonus item is sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
Yep, you need sunscreen. And really, it should have been the #1 bonus item because think about it.
Yeah.
If you're not healthy, if you're battling some kind of skin problem, even skin cancer because you didn't put sunscreen on, you can't ride your bike.
Can't ride your bike anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So do like the song told you, wear your sunscreen.
Wear your sunscreen. And let's just say that we're guilty a lot of times of not doing it, but we're out so much that it is a priority for us to make sure that we just slap some sunscreen on. Right.
It only takes a few minutes. You might as well do it.
Yeah, we're sounding like your parents, but we are your parents right now.
Yes, we are.
Wear your sunscreen. So a little bit of channel maintenance before we leave. We are exactly
6 subscribers
away from our 100 subscriber mark. Woo-hoo!
I know.
Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, it means a lot to us because,
it does.
You know, just like every YouTube channel, we are starting from scratch.
Zero,
right?
yeah, we're starting from nothing.
Right, so we would love for this to be our 100,000 subscriber or even our 1,000th subscriber.
That would be great.
That's fine, but it's 100, and we are still just as pleased and just as thankful. So we appreciate, like always, your support, and we just really, really are surprised at the response that we're getting with our channel.
Right. We're also surprised you guys are talking to us.
Yes.
You're asking us questions.
Nobody
you're making
talks
comments.
to us.
Right. You're making comments. So that is so nice to get that kind of feedback. We do appreciate it. And also, if there is any kind of video that you guys would like to see, if there's a request you have, give it to us and we'll see if we can do that for you.
Yeah, or if there's anything in our videos that you see, maybe there's some product on our bike or maybe some way that we're doing things that you think, oh, what the heck were they doing?
About,
Don't hesitate to just leave a comment in the comment section and we'll try to explain that to you and get that information to you, because really that's our whole thing, is that when we got our e-bikes, we went on a quest for trying to find out information on our new hobby, right?
Right.
And so we were just finding, we have certain people that we go to, and we just hope that that certain people is going to be us for you.
Right.
So again, we appreciate the support and all of the comments that we had.
And as we always say at the end of our videos, like, subscribe,
and get your butt outside. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.